This crazy movie kicks off with a teenage girl named Giselle crossing the border into Mexico. She stops at a gas station to grab some ciggies, and the dude working there gets a phone call. After hanging up, he turns to Giselle and straight up asks her, "Truth or dare?" Giselle looks straight up terrified and says she doesn't want to play that game anymore. Just moments later, she goes nuts and grabs some gasoline, dousing another woman in the store with it. After apologizing to the woman, Giselle lights her on freaking fire. We then meet this college chick named Olivia, who runs a YouTube channel all about doing good deeds and stuff like building homes for homeless people. Her best friend and roommate Marky bursts into her room and tries to get Olivia to join her and their other pals for a spring break trip to Mexico. At first, Olivia's not down because she already signed up for some charity program over the break. But Marky drops a bombshell. She went behind Olivia's back and unsigned her from the program, saying this might be their last chance to cut loose and have fun before graduating. Olivia eventually agrees, and they meet up with their other friends. Penelope and her boyfriend Tyson, who's a drug dealer, by the way, their gay pal Brad. And finally, Marky's boyfriend Lucas, who starts acting kind of flirty with Olivia in a weird way. The whole crew arrives in Mexico and goes ham during their spring break, partying hard and just having an all-around blast. But on their last night there, things start getting a bit messy. They're at this club, and Olivia spots a totally wasted Marky grinding on some random dude on the dance floor. Olivia has to literally pull her bestie away from the guy and bring her back to Marky's boyfriend Lucas. After that little ordeal, Olivia goes to grab a drink at the bar. And that's when this frat bro named Ronnie starts hitting on her hard. Olivia's clearly uncomfortable with his advances, until this other guy, Carter, steps in and tells Ronnie to back off and stop being a creep. Ronnie almost wants to throw down and start a fight right there. But Olivia reminds him they're in a freaking club, so he should chill out and just take some shots instead of trying to rumble with a stranger. Olivia and Carter then start chatting it up, and they seem to really hit it off. Her friends come join them shortly after, and Carter tells the whole group about this supposedly sweet spot where they can keep the party going. Despite some hesitation from the others, Olivia convinces everyone to follow Carter to this abandoned church to keep raging. Once they're all inside the creepy old church, Olivia notices this nasty broken urn with a freaky skull on it that's giving off an awful, rotten smell. She quickly walks away from it because, no thanks. The group then all sits down, and Carter suggests they play a game of truth or dare to keep the good times rolling. At first, it's all fun and games, with dares like Ronnie having to give Tyson an embarrassing lap dance or Lucas having to run around the church butt naked, which he actually does. There's even a dare for Penelope to make out with Olivia, which she also goes through with. But then it's Olivia's turn, and she picks truth. That's when Tyson straight up asks her if Marky knows that Olivia is totally in love with Lucas, Marky's boyfriend. This revelation makes Marky understandably upset, and everyone starts calling out Tyson for asking such a messed up question. Next up is Carter's turn, and Marky asks him what his real intentions are for hanging with Olivia. That's when this dude just lays it all out and says he needed to find some gullible people who were also friends so he could trick them all into coming to this abandoned church. He straight up admits he's cool with strangers dying if it means he gets to live. Ooh, what? Everyone is just stunned and confused, staring at Carter with their mouths hanging open as he just gets up and leaves the church all casual-like. Olivia, still in shock, follows Carter outside and demands to know what the hell he's going on about with all that dying stuff. That's when Carter tells her they're all now stuck playing a super high-stakes game of truth or dare. He lays out the twisted rules. If they tell a lie, they die. If they refuse to do a dare, they die. And if they refuse to keep playing the game at all, well, you guessed it, they die too. Olivia is understandably losing her mind, trying to make sense of what this psycho is saying. But her friends think Carter's just being a total jerk, so they all leave the creepy church together. In the next scene, we're back home, and Olivia and Marky haven't spoken a single word to each other since that messed up night in Mexico with the deranged truth or dare game. We learn that Marky's dad killed himself a while back, and ever since then, Olivia has been the only real family Marky has left. Trying to make amends, Marky goes to Olivia's room with a glass of lemonade as a peace offering, and the two besties finally make up and seem to be cool again. But the very next day, Olivia starts seeing the words truth or dare pop up everywhere she looks, written on walls, doors, windows, you name it. At first, she just thinks it's some stupid prank her friends are pulling. But soon, it becomes clear that she's the only one who can actually see the creepy writing. She goes to the library to look for Marky and Lucas, and that's when things get even crazier. All the other students in the library suddenly start surrounding poor Olivia, but their faces have morphed into these crazy, demonic-looking creatures with piercing green eyes. They all start screaming, truth or dare, at her over and over again until Olivia is so freaked out that she finally yells, truth, to make them stop. That's when one of the demonic creatures asks Olivia to reveal the secret that Marky has been keeping from Lucas. With the whole library watching, and those creepy green eyes boring into her, Olivia blurts out that Marky has been cheating on Lucas this whole time. Lucas and Marky, who are right there, hear the whole thing, and Lucas is absolutely devastated, walking out in a fury. Olivia tries to explain to Marky that she didn't mean to just blab out her secret like that. But Marky is so pissed that she threatens to straight up break Olivia's hand if she doesn't start making sense soon. So later that night, we see our boy Ronnie at the bar, trying his best to hit on this chick. But she shuts down his lame attempt at flirting real quick. However, her face then morphs into something totally whack, and she asks Ronnie to play truth or dare. This idiot, probably thinking it's gonna lead to some kinky foreplay, picks dare like a dumbass. The girl then dares him to get up on the pool table and show off his junk to everyone. Without even hesitating for a second, Ronnie hops up on the table. But before he can drop his pants, the other girls in the bar start roasting him, saying he's rocking a tiny pecker down there. Dude gets super insecure and doesn't want to go through with the dare anymore. But then, something seems to take control of him, and his face morphs too. He ends up intentionally stepping on a pool ball, which makes him slip and fall in a way that breaks his freaking neck. Meanwhile, Olivia and some of her friends are at Brad's place, grilling her about why she blabbed her bestie's secret to the whole damn library like that. Olivia tries to explain herself, but nobody believes her crazy story. Then they all get a notification with a video showing Ronnie's messed up death. Everyone's creeped out that he died, but they still think it's just some big coincidence. Later on, Lucas is walking home when he hears this creepy voice asking him, truth or dare. He sees the question burning into the wall and into his own skin. Lucas calls up Olivia right after and tells her that her theory about the game is legit. He also admits that sometimes he imagines what it would be like if he was with her instead of Marky. Looks like his truth was spilling how he really feels about Olivia. The whole group then gathers at Olivia's house, and Marky shows up a little later. They fill her in on how the truth or dare game seems to be real. But Marky obviously doesn't believe them at first and thinks it's just a cover-up for Olivia revealing her secret. But then Marky gets a text asking her to play, and she picks dare when given the choice. Her dare is to literally break Olivia's hand, just like she threatened before. Olivia grabs a hammer and tells Marky to just do it, but she's still hesitant to force her hand. Olivia brings up Marky's dead dad, which royally pisses her off since she was already mad about the secret getting out. Marky then slams the hammer down on Olivia's hand, breaking it for real. Lucas and Brad take Olivia to the hospital after that, and while in the waiting room, Brad gets asked to play too. He picks truth, and the game forces him to come out as gay to his dad, who's this homophobic cop named Han. But surprisingly, Han actually accepts Brad's truth about his sexuality. The next day, right after Tyson finishes his med school interview, the interviewer asks him to play. He picks truth like an idiot, and the game makes him admit that he's been writing fake prescriptions for students. But Tyson denies it, And then something totally messed up happens. He gets possessed or something and ends up stabbing himself in the eye with a pen before bashing his head against the wall until he's dead. The others run to try and save him, but it's too late. That night, the whole group gathers to help Penelope grieve over Tyson's death. Since she's been boozing hard all night, they take her to her room to sleep it off. The group searches for Carter's name on Facebook, but can't find him. However, they do come across Giselle's video of her burning that woman at the gas station. Marky then messages Giselle asking for help with this crazy game. Penelope gets woken up from her drunken slumber because it's her turn to play now. She picks Truth at first, but the game says that since two people picked Truth back to back, the next person is forced to pick Dare instead. With no other choice, Penelope picks Dare, and she gets told to walk along the edge of the roof while chugging an entire vodka bottle. She heads up to the roof and starts doing the dare, while her friends grab a mattress just in case she falls. Despite being wasted, Penelope downs the whole bottle, but loses her balance and tumbles off the roof. Luckily, her friends catch her on the mattress, saving her life. The group then gets a message from Giselle, so they meet up with her. She tells them her friend Sam is the one who started this messed up Truth or Dare game. Giselle also reveals that her dare was to kill Olivia, and she pulls out a gun, aiming it right at her. Penelope pushes Olivia out of the way just in time, taking the bullet herself and sacrificing her life to save her friend. Brad and Lucas try to wrestle the gun away from Giselle, but since she failed her dare to kill Olivia, her face morphs, and she's forced to shoot herself in the head. Now realizing they need serious help, the group tells a detective everything that's been happening. The cop shows Olivia pics of Giselle's friends who all died a few months back, and reveals that the person they know as Sam is actually a guy named Carter. Olivia sneakily swipes some pics of Carter's real info when the detective isn't looking. The next day, it's Olivia's turn, and she picks Dare in order to save her friends from having to do one. Her dare is to sleep with Lucas. Marky is pissed when she hears this and storms off. Olivia apologizes to Lucas for forcing this on him, but he says he actually wants to go through with it, so they do the deed. Afterwards, it's Lucas' turn, and he gets asked to reveal who he truly loves. He admits that while he cares for Olivia, he's really in love with Marky. Meanwhile, we see that Marky was dared to go get her dad's gun, the same one he used to kill himself. Later, while the group is hanging at Brad's, his dad shows up. Brad is then dared to take his father's gun and make him beg for his life at gunpoint. Brad does exactly that, pointing the weapon at his dad and demanding he beg. But before Brad's dad can comply, another cop barges in and shoots Brad dead from behind. The next day, it's Olivia's turn again, and she picks Dare. This time, she's forced to admit the big secret she's been keeping from Marky all this time. Olivia drops the bombshell that she was there the night Marky's dad killed himself. She reveals that he actually tried to sexually assault her, but stopped himself and apologized. However, Olivia threatened to tell Marky about it, which is what drove him to commit suicide out of shame. Marky is absolutely devastated to learn this dark truth about her dad, but admits he had done messed up things like that before. Olivia has also been doing some digging, and she finds an old story from 50 years ago about a group of girls who all died playing the Truth or Dare game in that same church, except for one survivor. Her and Lucas track down this sole survivor, who's now an old mute woman. Through writing, she tells them how she accidentally summoned a demon named Kalax while trying to use dark magic to stop her abusive priest. The demon tricked her into playing the game, leading to all her friends' deaths. The old woman reveals there's a way to stop Kalax and end the game for good. They just need to force the person who originally summoned the demon to cut out their own tongue as a sacrifice, using a special ritual spell. Armed with this knowledge, Olivia and Lucas grab Marky and head to Carter's hideout to capture him. Carter tries to bolt, but Olivia pulls a gun on him, forcing him to go back to the church with them. At the church, they give Carter the ritual spell and a knife, ordering him to cut out his own tongue. As he starts the ritual, it's suddenly Lucas' turn again, and he gets dared to kill either Olivia or Marky. Of course, he refuses and shares one last romantic moment with Marky before Carter is about to cut his tongue. But then the demon Kalax possesses Lucas' body, making him slit Carter's throat and then his own. It's now Marky's turn, and she's dared to shoot Olivia, hitting her in the arm. Olivia, bleeding from her gunshot wound, decides to take matters into her own hands. She calls out to the demon Kalax, demanding that he play by his own rules and engage with her. When he picks truth, Olivia asks him how they can escape this nightmarish game alive once and for all. However, the demon coldly reveals that the only way for the game to end is for every single person to die, not one to back down. Olivia comes up with a risky but clever plan. She records a video for her YouTube channel, explaining the full horrifying truth about the deadly truth or dare game and its demented consequences to her viewers. After apologizing to her audience, Olivia issues a call for everyone watching to join in and start playing truth or dare themselves. Her thinking is that by getting millions of people across the world involved in the game, it would take the demon Kalax decades to get through all those players before looping back around to her and Marky, essentially buying them a whole lot of time by putting themselves at the back of an enormously long queue. Olivia's video quickly goes viral, with people everywhere watching and unconsciously agreeing to play along just by viewing it, causing their faces to morph as they get supernaturally roped into the game. As the movie ends, we see a teenage girl watching Olivia's video, her visage twisting into a demonic sneer as the dreadful curse continues to spread on a mass scale.